stand up. Okay? All
Ready?
okay, very good. Okay. I appreciate they helping me get this technology set up here. And I'm grateful for the folks who let us use the church here. And I'm grateful to be anywhere, okay? At my age, I say, you know, the turning point of this day was when I woke up this morning, okay? And living water, living water. And water is life. There's just no question about it. Our bodies are about 75% water. Brain is about 85% water. And the liver, kidneys, and without adequate water and the right kind of water, we have some issues to deal with. You know, I believe that one of the worst things in the world that we can lose personally is hope. I see people who've lost hope, and I just want to weep, because that is the most tragic situation that a person can get in life. No hope. And someone asked me, what do? I said, well, I offer people hope and relief from 2 life sentences: blocked arteries, cardiovascular issues, and kidney dialysis. We have examples of people going off of kidney dialysis, going off of it, after they've been told that just get over it, live with it. And that's not true. So that's why I'm so grateful to be here to talk about water primarily. The primary item is water. Now, all of you have been told to drink 8 glasses of water a day, okay? Later, okay. Now, I was talking to her earlier. Now, this little gal, you know, just if we would stand up just a second. Now, do you really believe that she needs as much water in her body as I do? That is crazy. That is crazy. Now, here's what many experts feel. The amount of water you need is take your body weight, divide it in half, and that's the number of ounces of water you need to drink every day. And here's a health tip I'm going to give you, and I won't even bill you for it, okay? 20 minutes before your meal and 20 minutes after your meal, don't drink anything. Just enough water to rinse your mouth, the food out of you. You don't want to dilute that acid that's in your stomach cooking the food. You want that food to be cooked before it's dumped into your intestines. If it isn't, if you pour water in there or iced tea, then that food's going to get in your intestines, partially cooked, and it's going to rot. And the last thing you want is for that to happen. I won't let dwell on that with our meal. Okay. Dr. Batmahalja talks about in his book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water, he says that Alzheimer's disease is a result of dehydrated brain cells, not enough water. And here's a picture with a normal brain and a person with Alzheimer's. You see this brain is just really sort of dried out, okay? Now, you're going to know, tonight you're going to know more than 90% of the people in Coleman County about water. How many, or I'll ask this, how many of you are familiar with ORP as it talks about water, or pH? Or microclustered water? Now, those characteristics are characteristics of the ideal water. Now, I'm going to sit down if it's okay with you. I've got a couple of feet that are old. I'm not old, but my feet are. So I'm going to sit down if it's okay with you, and we're just going to chat. Now, for many years, hundreds of years, people have gravitated to certain areas in the world where there's magic or healing waters. Lourdes, France, Mexico, Delhi, India, and of course Lourdes, France. Probably the most popular one is in France. You know, Lourdes is a small town in southern France, right near the Spanish border. 15,000 people, but every year 5 million people go there to drink the water and to bathe in the water. And what they've done, they've analyzed this water and they've discovered that the water contains a high level of hydrogen. That is a high pH, alkaline pH. pH stands for potential hydrogen. And that water has a high level of hydrogen. Now, Enagic is a Japanese company, Enagic USA, but it's a Japanese company. They developed the technology to take tap water and create this miracle water. They didn't invent the technology. The Russians invented it back 100 years ago, but they didn't do anything with it. But they discovered, the Japanese discovered that you can take it, charge an electrical charge to the water. In other words, electrically charge it. Filter it first, charge it. Then it divides, it separates the hydrogen from the oxygen. And it adds oxygen and it adds an extra element of hydrogen. So that's where it gets the therapeutic value. But the fact is, it just tastes good. And, you know, people don't drink enough water, and the reason it doesn't taste good. I mean, you get up in the morning and try to chunk 12 ounces of water before breakfast, it's just kind of hard to get it down. But you can drink 12 ounces of this alkaline, you know, restructured water, and just no problem at all. Now, this is the same water that you found in Lourdes, France, the same qualities, high level of hydrogen. And I made this from tap water. In Madison, tap water costs less than ½ cent a gallon. So this 2.5 gallon container over here probably cost about 4 cents, maybe. Now, if you bought 2.5 gallon of the Dasani water, Aquafina, even the cheapest bottle of water is $1.50, you know. So this system creates the tap water, which is very reasonable to this hydrogen water. Now, I've got some brochures here that I want to share with you. And I would like to offer you an opportunity to learn more about this water, and you can do that by going to my website, Bazz Water. I've got a card up here. Feel free to pick it up, and I've got a few pens left, so the first comers can pick up one of these pens also. And I've got the brochures, a few of those I brought along. Just take a look at those. But go to Bazz Water, B-A-Z-Z Water, WATER.com. And when you go there, a little registration window will pop up. And you register, and then I will see that you get one of the DVDs of, in 20 minutes, the 20-minute DVD, you'll know more than 92% of the people in the whole country about drinking water. And the advantages of the Kangen water, okay? Now, Kangen is a leader in the field. This company was started in the 70s, but up until 2003, it only did business in Japan. And Japan, about 1985, the government of Japan recognized this system that sits on the countertop as a medical device. They use it in the hospitals and the clinics, you know, for health care. because it creates not only high alkaline water, it creates very acidic water for the skin. You see, your body needs alkaline inside and acid outside. Don't put any alkaline on your skin. Soap, it's the worst thing in the world you can do. You want, this is going to be acidic out here. Drink the alkaline water, get it inside. So that's just the way we were created. I didn't do that, by the way. Okay, now, so this company developed this system, and then in 2003 it came to the United States. Now then we do business in about 20 countries. It's a worldwide company. And your investment in this, I've had this ionizer on my countertop for 7 years. That's how long I've been representing Enagic and how long I've been drinking this water. And that machine is just like it was when it's new. So it's a sizable investment, but it lasts 20 years, okay? And you can clean it. It's built where it can be cleaned. The lower price ionization systems you find out there, there are a lot of shortcomings, and you'll discover that if you do the research. You see, alkaline buildup in the system is a big enemy. And a lot of those companies will void the warranty if the water is hard. Well, we have hard water everywhere. I mean, it's, you know, and that's okay. That's good, because, you know, hard water, that means it has a lot of calcium and magnesium, and that's exactly what your body needs. So if you take it out of there, you know, you're not helping yourself at all. See? Now, I have some reports here. Dr. Warburg won the Nobel Prize in 1931 when he discovered that cancer tissues and sickness and so forth will not survive in an alkaline environment. It's got to have acidic environment, okay? Now I've got something here. Now here's I'll leave this sheet here. This is the kind of information I distribute. I distribute research information that I take the time to find, and I offer to my subscribers, people who are interested in having it. I want to read you the headlines. These are 4 articles I just picked off yesterday. It says, why hard water is healthier than soft water. Okay, now that's published by the city of Nashville in Davidson County Health Department up there. And there's another article, Health Effects of Selected Drinking Water Contaminants. Soft water is not for drinking. If you're a steam iron, that's exactly what you want. But if you're not a steam iron, you don't want to drink it. There's another, the World Health Organization issued reverse osmosis water warning. You don't want to drink reverse osmosis water. It's just, in spite of what all they tell you, it's healthy and it's better than tap water, but you don't want to drink it. And it says, here's another article I have from Dr. McCullough. It says, early death comes from drinking distilled water. You don't want to drink distilled water, reverse osmosis water, or salt water. You don't want to drink that. It's not, over a long period of time, it will be very, very detrimental to your health. Okay. Now here's a pH scale, and you're going to see this on the video. Now, I've got a 20-minute video I'm going to play, which demonstrates this, all the different types of water this system creates. But here's a pH scale. You see, the closer to the purple, the blue, is the healthier it is. That's alkaline. The closer to the orange, that's sick water. That's Gatorade, Dasani, tap water, all of those waters, and you'll see in the demo on the video, they're acidic. Now, also there's another factor, oxidation reduction potential, ORP. Or all of those bottled waters you're going to see adds oxidation to your body. In spite of the high price and all that, it's just bad news. Only this water in the demo you'll see reduces the oxidation in the body. The more of that Dasani water you drink, the more acidic you're going to be, and the more oxidation you're going to add to your body. And you're going to pay $6 or $8 a gallon for this stuff. You don't want to be drinking. Now, don't take my word for it. Just do the research. Just do the research and find out for yourself. Because water will make a difference in your life. If you want to change your life, change your water. Number one. All medication, everything else will work better. And if you hydrate your kidneys, your liver, your brain, your pancreas, give it enough water, and give the right kind of water, alkaline water, then you're going to be a healthier person. You're going to be a healthier person. So just keep that in mind. And like I say, we'll play the video, and then if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. If I can't answer them, I'll get the answer. Okay? I'll get the answer. If I don't have it. Okay?
While I'm sitting it back up, because it went off again, would you tell us your story about why you got into it? Or did you already mention it and I missed it?
Now, I didn't bring the video of my story. I have a video on the web called My Wake Up Call, and I didn't bring it. I didn't want to overload, you know. I just want you to see the water that it's made. But in 2009, I had my arteries checked. Let me get this picture here. Now, every year for several years, I would get an ad from Lifeline Screening, wanting to screen my arteries. They do that for about 140 bucks. And every year I'd just toss it in the wastebasket. Just another direct mail piece, you know. But in 2009, something told me that I ought to have them checked. Now, I can't explain that, but I did. And boy, we got peripheral arteries, the main peripheral down the legs, one each leg, carotid arteries up to the brain, and the aorta, the main artery, down to the gut. All 5 of those, the blockage was significant or abnormal. And man, I was devastated. What do I do? Well, I was introduced to this water just a couple of months earlier, so I drank it, and then 2 years later, now I had my arteries checked every year, but the test I had 2 years later, I had been drinking this water 2 years. Now, all the arteries were much improved. There were still some issues, but they were much improved. I'm talking about the lab test now, not some speculation, you know. Well, so I knew I had some more work to do, so I found a nitric oxide supplement that I add to the water, which relaxes the blood vessels. And then a year later, 1 year later, now I'd been drinking, or 2 years later, I'd been drinking the water 4 years, and the Pro-Arginine a year and a half. And every one of those arteries, the blockage was gone. I've got the lab, and I don't have that video with me, but I will send you a copy that's on YouTube if you'd like to see it. Because if you know people who have blocked arteries, kidney dialysis, I can really help them. I really can. I really can. And I won't do it overnight. See, it took me over 4 years to go from everything blocked to everything clear. It's over 4 years. You see, your body doesn't get in bad shape overnight, and you're not likely to fix it overnight. And if you've got skin issues, by the way, if your kidneys are overworked or short of water, your body's going to get rid of the waste. See, all of your blood is filtered through those kidneys every 4 minutes. Every ounce of blood is filtered every 4 minutes through your kidneys. Now, if those kidneys don't have enough water and they're overworked, then the body's going to get rid of the waste, so your skin is the backup. Okay? So when the stuff when the stuff starts popping out your skin, don't go to grab the lotions and the potions. You know, get a little deeper, okay? I tell people, bad skin is an inside job, okay, not an outside. Now, I don't want to put down people who try to take care of their skin. I don't mean that. That's not my purpose. If you know me, when you get to know, you know that I'm not into negative stuff, okay? I think if you can't look positive, then just be quiet. Okay, but I will share that video with you, and I have some other information. My cards are here, and I just like for you to get my newsletter. When you go to Bazz Water, you can get my newsletter. You'll get a copy every month. You can get it, and you order the DVD, and I'll see that you get that. And then I just like to stay in touch. And you have questions, I want to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll get somebody to answer them, okay? So that's my story, okay? Now this story is Pat Boone introduces this story.
And how old are you, if we can ask? How old are you?
I'll be 87 in May.
Very good.
So something's working, okay?
Now, there's somebody here today to show you an eye-opening demonstration about the water we drink and this remarkable machine from Japan. His name is Bob Gridelli. Hey, Bobby, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Pat.
Why don't you take over?
Great, I will. So I want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to go into the demonstration here, and I'm going to show you the 3 unique properties of this water and why it's so very special. The first property I'm going to show you is what's called the ORP, which stands for the oxidation reduction potential. And we're going to show you that with a meter that shows whether a liquid has a positive ORP or a negative ORP. And if it has a positive ORP, that means it's bad for you, or it's oxidizing, or aging, or rusting. We all know what that is, right? And so if it has a negative ORP, that's what makes it a powerful antioxidant. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to pour some of these liquids first. And we're going to start with Dasani. And these are, we just put together an array of liquids that most people drink, right? Did you drink any of this? Dasani? How about Aquafina? Yes?
Is that good?
I think I used to drink all of these. And how about Smart Water? Yes? You're a holistic doctor. Okay. I'll show you what I call it in a little bit. How about the Arrowhead Sparkling Water? Yes? Anyone like that water? That's why I kind of like those, all the flavors. Actually, this was my favorite water. It's called Alive. In a second, you'll see what I call it. How about sports drinks, Gatorades? Yes, everybody like those? I used to drink a lot of sports drinks because, you know, you see athletes drinking it, so it must be good for us. How about sodas? Do any of you drink sodas? Okay, and this is just tap water. Anybody drink tap water? And then this is Kangen water. Okay, so this is the pinpoint ORP meter. Now we're going to test the ORP of the Dasani. So notice Dasani is over 215 right now. Now we go to the Aquafina. How's the Aquafina? We'll go over 220 and climbing. How about the Smart Water? Over 230 and climbing. How about Arrowhead? Over 315 and climbing, getting worse. Alive Water. This was one of my favorite ones. 400, now I call it dead water. How about Gatorade? Any of you drink Gatorade? Like 393 and climbing. So remember, the worse, the more positive it is, the worse it is. How about 7-Up? Now, all sodas are pretty much the same, just we use light colored. So you'll see 394 and climbing. How about the tap water? 325. Here's the star of the show, you guys. Look at negative what? Over negative 400. now negative 426. So as you can see, when it has a negative, this is the only water that has a negative. That's why they call it negative water in Japan. That's why they use it in hospitals over there, because all the positive ones are oxidizing, aging, rusting, bad, internally on the body. But the negative water is neutralizing the free radicals, so that's why we want to drink this water and hydrate your body on a regular basis. Next property I'm going to show you the water is, we're going to go over here and we're going to test these waters for the pH of the water. So pH stands for potential hydrogen. And we have a little chart here where I'm going to show you, and we're going to put a few drops in these waters. And we're going to show whether they are on the acidic side or the alkaline side. We'll just put a couple drops in each one of them. We have a nice little pretty colorful display today, right? And we'll kind of stir these up real quick so you can get a better look, and then I'll show each one of them. Let's clean that off. Let's clean it off each time. Okay. So let's go start here with the Dasani water, and we'll use this pH chart here and show. So the Dasani is what?
Very acidic.
On the acidic side, right? How about the Aquafina? Also acidic. How about the Smart Water? A little better, but still acidic, right? How about the Arrowhead Sparkling? Very acidic. How about the Alive Water? That's why I call it dead water now. How about the Gatorade? Also very acidic. And how about the 7-Up? Bet you didn't know you were drinking so many acidic things, did you? How about tap water? So right around neutral, right? So tap water is always going to be neutral to slightly alkaline because it's federally regulated by the government. So besides, the chlorine, the fluorides, they put lye in the water, which is a pH of 14, very alkaline, to raise the pH of our city water, the tap water, because if it were acidic, it would rust the pipes. So I don't think they're concerned about our pipes, they're concerned about the city pipes. So that's why it's always going to be in that range. So let's move on to the Kangen water. Now here's the star of the show. What is the Kangen water? Very alkaline, right? So with a touch of a button, we can change the alkalinity, and this one is 9.5 pH. So we all know that we should be slightly alkaline, right? Our body, because we're over 75% water. Unfortunately, look what we're drinking today, and the foods we're eating, and the air we're breathing. And so when you drink this water on a regular basis, just think about your bodily fluids, right? Now watch what happens. What did we just do? Just with a little of the water, we neutralize that and raise the pH of the water. We'll go to the Aquafina. Notice. How about the Smart Water? Notice I'm just putting in a little bit, right? So imagine when you're drinking this on a regular basis, what happened to the Arrowhead water? It was struggling, and then it went right back to acidity. That's because it's very acidic. Notice the Alive Water. No change. How about the Gatorade? Also no change. How about 7-Up? So now we'll go over to the tap water. Notice it changed pretty easily, right? So now when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, that's what it's going to help your body to do to balance your pH. Now, I'm going to take the 7-Up here. Now it's already diluted, right? Watch what happens. Now think about you drinking this on a regular basis. Watch what happens when we just add a little bit of that. Notice it takes it right back to an acidic state, just with a few drops. If you're drinking these things, ladies, and these are all pretty much in the same range, watch the Kangen water.
Wow.
We just destroyed the Kangen water with a little bit of diluted soda. If you're drinking sodas, this is right around the pH of about 2.5, which makes it about 50,000 times more acidic if you were starting over here at the neutral point. So that's how acidic it is. And I'm just going to show you real quick. This came from Wellness Magazine. And it says, what does it show the equivalent of soda is?
Battery acid.
It shows soda equals battery. Your battery in your car, the acid level of the battery in your car equivalent to soda. So imagine, if we want to stay on the alkaline side, you definitely don't want to drink anything like this, right? So, as you can see now, that's the second property of the water that makes Kangen water so very special and why you want to be hydrating your body on a regular basis. So now I get to show you the third property of the water, which is microclustering of the molecules. And so regular water, like tap water, is about 15 to 20 molecule clusters, whereas Kangen water is about 4 to 6 clusters, so much smaller. And you're going to get to see a visual when I show you that with these green tea bags. So this is Yamamoto green tea. It's a tea that I like. And so we're going to go ahead and put one of these in here in the first cup. And what do you have to normally do to make tea? You have to heat the water. So we're going to take room temperature tap water. And notice what's happening. It's not making tea, is it? That's because you have to boil the water to make tea. So we're going to take another tea bag and we're going to take the Kangen water. Notice what happens. What's happening to that tea bag? It's making tea instantly. Watch what happens when I go to pour again. Instant tea, right? The smaller molecules are penetrating the tea bag and drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Okay, let's take one and go. How about if we go back to tap water? No tea, right? So it's not a magic show, so you understand. It's just the molecules are too big to draw the tea out of there. We'll go back to Kangen water. Notice how it's drawing tea out of the tea bag. And notice this tea bag's still struggling over here, right? So let's take it back over here and let's see if we can get tea out of it. Notice instant tea with the Kangen water. So I think you can understand with the microclustering of the molecules being 4 to 6 clusters, much smaller, how it's drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Now imagine when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, it's hydrating the body better. This water will actually reach the brain in 60 seconds, every part of the skin in 10 minutes. It will penetrate the cells much easier, carry nutrients into the cells, and carry waste products out of the cells. So I think you can see that drinking Kangen water with the negative ORP, right, the alkalinity and the microclustering of the molecules, this should be the water of choice for everybody to drink because it's far superior water and beneficial for the body. Now we're going to show you some other properties of the water that we can use for different purposes in your home. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some tomatoes here that I just got at the grocery store. So these are some Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And how do you normally clean your fruits and vegetables at home? You rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're going to take these Nature's Sweet tomatoes and I'll try to pluck these out really quick. And you rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're just going to simulate that by pouring some tap water in here. You ladies didn't know you were going to do a little taste test today, did you? And we're going to take another bag of the Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And we're going to soak them in what's called strong Kangen water. And strong Kangen water is at a pH of about 11, 11.5. And the reason I put it in a black container is because 3 things affect the properties of the water. That is air, light, and movement. So we always store them in black containers. When we make the water, we're going to use them. So we'll just soak some of the tomatoes with the 11.5 strong Kangen water. And while those are soaking, we'll let those sit there for just a minute. And we're going to take some, this is pure sesame oil. And we're going to take some sesame oil, and I'm going to show you while those are soaking what this water can do to the sesame oil. Now what happens, basic science, what happens when you mix water and oil?
They don't mix.
It doesn't mix, right? So notice how it's starting to separate. So watch when I take the same oil and put the strong Kangen water in there. What just happened? It emulsified or it mixed the oil. So we're going to show you today with this water how you can use it for different purposes at home to clean your produce. You can also use it, put it in a black spray bottle like I do, and clean the house with it. So we're all concerned about the chemicals in our home, right? So we can now get rid of all those chemicals and make water that you can use as a degreaser, a cleaner, your 409, you can replace all of those. So let's go back to the tomatoes. How about that? So remember, these were soaking in the tap water and simulating how you clean them at home. And I'm just going to scoop them out of here and try not to make a mess. Okay. That's the tap water. We'll set them right there. And then we're going to do a little taste test. Are you ladies up for a taste test today? Okay, let's get I call these Kangen tomatoes. Now, notice the difference. So, you thought you cleaned your tomatoes in the tap water, right? But did you really?
No.
Notice what just came off the tomatoes.
Everything.
Herbicides, pesticides, oxidation, anything that's on the produce, because they use oil-based pesticides that don't wash off in the rain. So guess what? Regular water doesn't have the ability to take those off, but Kangen water has the ability to take them off, just like it broke down the oil over here. So let's go ahead and let's pass these around. We're going to go ahead and have each one of you grab one of the Kangen tomatoes, I call them. And let's do a little taste test. Those are kind of big, so you might not want to bite them in half. I would just bite the whole thing, or you might get tomato on you. And so we're going to let them try the Kangen tomatoes really quick. Hey guys, I'm Italian, and I didn't used to like tomatoes. That's pretty sad, right? But guess what? I found out it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. So, how's the tomatoes? Are they pretty sweet? Not too bad? Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and pass these around. This is the tomatoes that how you normally clean them and how you normally eat them. And let's see if we notice a difference, or who can notice a difference in the taste. Oh, you got to get a picture of these faces. Look at the face, look at the difference in the taste. So that now you understand why I didn't like tomatoes. Like I said, it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like, it was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. Everyone notice the difference? Absolutely. The first one was much better? The first one tasted more like you got it out of the garden, right? And it was natural and no pesticides, and it was sweet. Even the texture's a little different. And the second one, you guys, because guess what? You were eating the tomatoes with this on there. And that will definitely affect the taste. And guess what? When you clean your produce with this Kangen water, the strong Kangen water, your produce will last a week or so longer. So one of the other benefits of this technology and the different waters that we can make that you can use in your home for different purposes. So now I'm going to show you the technology that makes the different waters that we showed you in the demonstration. And this is what's called the SD501, the Leveluck SD501. It's the top of the line unit that we have, and it's the gold standard in our industry. So with a touch of a button, I'll show you what we do. We simply hook this up to the sink right here. As you can see, the ordinary tap water coming out of here. And by diverting the water into the machine, as you can hear, it talks to you. So right now, that quick, we're making the water. I'm going to shut it off just so we can hear. So as you can hear, 8.5 pH, so that's the alkaline drinking water. 9.0. And 9.5. So we have 3 levels of drinking water, and you can start on the 8.5 for a week or so, and that way get used to the water, because remember, the water has the ability to cleanse and detoxify the body of acid waste and heavy metals, and therefore you want to start at 8.5 for a week or so, move up to the 9.0, and then end up at the 9.5 after a few weeks to a month. The next water I'm going to show you in this green section is 7.0. It's just neutral water, and it says clean water. And it's for taking medication. So when you're taking prescription medication, you want to use this water because remember the microcluster molecule is much smaller. So that water is going to make the medication absorb much faster or be twice as strong. So when you're taking medication, just use this water. And about 30 to 45 minutes later, you can go back to using the regular Kangen water. Now, when you're taking your nutritional products or natural products or green drinks, you definitely want to use the Kangen water because you want those to work much better, right? So you want those to be twice as strong and absorb much better. The next water. Beauty water. So everybody wants to look more beautiful, right? So you never have to buy toners again, because this water will rival your best toners that you buy in your department stores, $20, $30, $40 a bottle, $50 a bottle, because we simply change the pH of this water to about 5.5, and that's exactly what toners are, because it acts as an astringent to tighten, tone, and soften your skin. The next two waters. Strong acidic water. This is a water that's about 2.5 pH. And this water is very acidic. And how we make this water? By adding a salt solution that's being added to the tank as it's being electrically charged, the water. And that's how you make the strong acid water. The benefit of that water is that water you use for sterilizing, for disinfecting. It will kill 99.9% of all bacteria within about 30 to 60 seconds. In hospitals in Japan, they use it for bed sores, cuts, burns, for skin problem, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, any type of dry skin problem and infection, you know, something that might cause infection on the skin, you use this water for. Matter of fact, I cut my thumb, stuck a knife through it, used that water, and it stopped bleeding right away. I never even had to go to the hospital, and it healed great. So many uses of that water. So when you're making this strong acid water, coming out here is the strong alkaline water, because we're separating the water. We have the strong acid water coming out this hose down here, the strong alkaline water coming out this hose, because remember that pH scale of 14? We're always splitting that. So if we're making 2.5, subtract that from 14, and that's what's coming out here is the 11.5 that we use for cleaning. All right? So those are the different waters that we make. So let me talk a little bit about the technology, and so you understand why this is the gold standard and why everybody compares themselves to Enagic. Because what's happening first, the water's first going through a double carbon antibacterial filter where it's filtering the water first. Then it's going through inside of here what we call the engine of this machine. I'm going to show you something that nobody else shows you, especially these other machines, the so-called competition on the market today. Right back here is what is the engine, and this is 7 large platinum-coated medical-grade titanium plates. And the water's passing through these plates, and it's being electrically charged with 230 watts of power. So the two most important parts of ionization are the size, surface area, and quality of these plates, and the electrical current that's happening to the water as it passes through the plates. So remember that, two most important qualities when you are looking at an ionizer. The next thing I'm going to show you, well, let's compare a few too. I'm just going to do this because they're never going to show you this. Some of the machines on the market today, the so-called competition, is not going to show you what the inside of their plates look like. Because look at the difference. Look at that. And they call this competition? Look how small they are, you guys. These are so cheaply made. That's why none of the ionizers can really do what this does. And that's why, I'll tell you, there's one thing. The Association of Preventive Medicine for Adult Diseases in Japan, which represents 6,500 doctors, that's why they picked Enagic as the only ionizer that they will endorse. Now I think you get to understand why you don't want to go with anybody else, and this is the golden standard. One other thing I'll show you about what makes this the golden standard is we simply spin this filter off, and we have what's called a manual cleaning cartridge. No other ionizer has this on the market. And because what happens to all ionizers are they start to build up with the inside the plates, you'll get the scaling from the calcium that's in the water. And what happens to the other ionizers, they all have a self or automatic cleaning system. None of them are good enough to completely clean the machine. So we simply spin this off, put on our cleaning cartridge, and you can actually clean this machine anytime you want. So I use mine, you know, more commercially because I give away a lot of water. So I put a cleaning cartridge on mine once a month. They recommend you do it every 3 to 6 months. So, but the fact is, we can clean this anytime we want. That's why this will last 15 to 20 years. 5-year warranty on everything. So I think you can see based on what I showed you today, and you'll understand why this is the gold standard in the industry. So what I would do is get back to the person who gave you this video, and they'll show you how you can get started and get one of these in your home so you can change your water and change your life.
I do that at 6:30. And if you'll go to Walmart and get one of these 2.5 gallon containers for about $6, then you bring it And of course, I realize you're not too close to Madison, but some of you may be able to get up there. Then you bring this container and I'll fill it with water, you know, and those bottled waters you're looking at will run from anywhere from $6 to $20 a gallon. And I make this water for about less than a cent a gallon, you know, 1 penny. So don't worry, I'm not losing a lot of money when I give you 5 gallons of water, okay? Okay. Okay, you have any questions, anybody? I'd be happy to answer them. Now, this video is online. You go to Kangen Demo, K-A-N-G-E-N Demo, if you'd like to look at it again, or if you want to show it to somebody else. It's on YouTube. You can find it. And you'll find my video on there. It's called the Wake Up Call from Bazz, B-A-Z-Z, Bazz Water. Wake Up Call.
I've got a question. Bazz, I've got a question.
Good.
About how much does one of these units cost? And
This-
do you have
there-
to get a professional to put it in, or can you put it in?
Okay, that's a good question. The systems that Enagic makes, they make about 5 different systems. They vary from, the lowest price is about $12.50, and the highest price is a commercial machine for about $6,000. This machine is about 80% or 85% of our business. This SD510 is what I have, just like this one. It's $39.80. Now, $39.80 plus the tax. Now, we can finance that machine for probably $60 a month, $70, something like that. And if you're buying bottled water, you're spending more than that for bottled water, even if you buy the cheap water. And it'll last 20 years. Mine's 7 years old, and it's just like a new machine. Now, once every 18 months, I send it into the factory, and for a very reasonable fee of about $80 plus the shipping, they take it all apart, clean it all out, and test each pH level, and send it back to me. And I got a new machine, you know. And the service is just impeccable. I mean, you just won't find. Now, here's something else. When you buy one of these machines, you'll get with your order, you'll get a distributor number, okay? You are a distributor of Kangen water machines. And if you want to develop a business, that's all you have to do. You've already done it. You don't have to inventory anything. You don't have to auto ship anything. You don't have a minimum it's the finest home-based business a person could find. Very, very so. And if you refer this video to someone and they buy a machine, when that sale closes, Enagic will send you a check on that day. They don't hold your money for a month or 2 weeks or whatever. So anyone that's looking for a home-based business, in my opinion, I've looked at a lot over the years, there's nothing in the world like this. And it's not MLM, it's direct sales. And you sell a machine, you get a commission, and if the person who bought the machine sells the machine, you get the same commission they do. It's just unusual. It's just unusual, and you need to explore that. If you or anyone you know, people today I saw some statistics, people are very unhappy, and the reason they don't have any freedom. They don't have a freedom where they work. They don't have the freedom to decide how many hours they're going to work. They don't have the means to have this type of home they want to have. They can't drive the car they want to drive, and they're unhappy. And we have in Enagic, we have a program we call Total Health. You've got to have all 3 of these to be healthy. You've got to have a healthy mind. Can't be under pressure and stressed out every day. You've got to have a healthy body, and you've got to have healthy finances. If you're broke, I don't care how good you feel, you still aren't healthy. And we can help a person with that, and they'll see clearly if they look at it. And We have a system, 90% of the new businesses start up, first 4 years they fail. 90% fail. Franchises, however, 95% succeed. Why? They got a system. And we have a system. I have, if you talk to a person, they want to look at this water, I have you send them 3 little videos, then you arrange for a demonstration, and then you help them get their machine. It's just that simple. And that's what I do. I don't sell water machines. I develop a team of people. I work with people.
Now, do you have to get a plumber to put them in?
Oh, that's another. No, the machine comes with 3 attachments. These 3 attachments will fit most faucets. One of them has a thread inside the faucet, one has a thread outside the faucet, and you hook that up, you put that adapter in your faucet, then this machine just snaps right to it. Now, I use a lot of water, and this is a very high priority for me. So I had the plumber install a separate faucet on my sink, just for cold water. That's all you need. And I can't leave my machine hooked up all the time. But now if you hook it to your sink, you'll have to take it apart, which I did for 6 years. Just take it apart, take the hose loose, and use your faucet, and then hook it up again. Now mine, like I say, I spent a couple $100 and had the plumber put me just a little faucet on the corner of the sink with cold water, and I hook my machine to that, and I leave it there. And boy, you have this water just go in there. You don't have to lug these bottles from the Walmart to the car and from the car in the house. You just go to your sink. Yes, sir.
What volt did they say it operated off of? How many volts?
I'm sorry?
How many volts did it operate?
230 volts. These other ionizers, if they put 230 volts in there, they would blow up. They're about 50 to 80 watts, not volts, watts. And so the strength of the current, see, this water is electrically charged. Boy, 7 plates that goes across, and it's separated. And hydrogen is added to the water, another element of hydrogen. Hydrogen, as you know, is the most prominent element in our universe, but it's fleeting. But if we could just get oxygen in and keep it there, it would be marvelous, but we haven't figured out. But you can add it to the water, and that's what we do. That's why you see that purple color. That's hydrogen. Yes, ma'am.
Why do you need to do something different to the water than God made water?
I'm sorry?
Why do you need to do something different to the water than the way God made the water?
Well, I
I
think this.
know we add, bad things to it.
As a matter of
but
fact, that's an excellent point. Kangen means return to origin. This water is returned to basically the same water you'll find in Lourdes, France, the miracle water. They've tested that water in France and in Mexico, and it has a high level of hydrogen, just like this restructured water. Now, we don't put anything in the water. Nothing is added to the water at all. Nothing. We just...
You change the pH or something, right? You change the pH to make it more alkaline?
Yes, that's right. That's right. What happened? You change the water back to the origin. You don't add tablets or anything to make it more alkaline. That's not the natural source. The electricity. You see, every cell in your body needs water and electricity. And this water is highly charged with positive ions. And it's like I say, Kangen means return to origin. Return the water to the way it was when it was created, without the pollutants. I have a water report from Madison. Now, I'm not critical of the city of Madison. They do a marvelous job, but there's 120 contaminants in the drinking water. 120. Now, you won't find them in the Kangen water. That electricity charges it right out of there. Yes, sir.
How long can that set before it loses its charge, or will it?
How long can the water sit before it loses its charge?
Oh, theoretically, 4 or 5 days, but I usually drink. I really make about 3 days of supply, 3 or 4 days, and I find it works very well. It won't last indefinitely, no. And that's another problem with the bottled water. Those plastic bottles, if they're not BPA free, they're just terrible, and most of them aren't. And you don't know how long those bottled waters have been sitting out in the sun on the dock somewhere. That water is not healthy, folks, and I don't mean to be negative, but it's just not healthy at all. And they're selling it like crazy. Coca-Cola is selling more water than Cokes, and it's tap water. Oh, by the way, Dasani is a Coca-Cola brand. Aquafina is a Pepsi-Cola brand. Now, Dasani water, you won't find it in the United Kingdom because they didn't disclose that it was tap water. The source was tap water. Now, there was nothing wrong with using tap water. Most of the bottled waters are, but they didn't tell the public. They let the public think this was magic water or spring water, and when it was just tap water. So the United Kingdom says, hey, you don't sell your water here, so it's not out over there. Not over there in the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Are these sales, the pyramid sales, like we sell
No,
it
no.
and then you get a commission?
No, it's a direct sales. It's direct sales. And I have a little video that explains that, the difference. We don't have to have drop ships. We don't have to have, orders, minimum orders, and none of that stuff that's connected with the pyramid or the multi-level marketing programs. You buy a machine, you are a distributor. You're the first machine you sell, you earn a commission on selling it. And yeah, it's just simple, and you get paid the day the sale is closed. I get checks. I get a check. I got a check yesterday, and I don't even know the person who bought it, but I knew the person who talked to them about it. But I get a share of that. We pay in points, 8 points, and I get I'm a 4A now, so I get 4 of those. When I get 5, I'll get 5. See, if there's any left. Now the person who does the work gets paid first. They get it first. So that compensation plan is relatively simple, and there's a short video. I'll be happy to provide that for you if you'd like to look at it. It's just 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, it's 7:30. I think it's about time to go home. But that's not my call. Okay.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and have prayer? Would you mind to lead us?
Okay.